Hello. Sorry for my state of dress or undress. I figured if Andrew Tate can, do his podcast, like, is he naked when he does that podcast? Either way, it's gross. I figured I can be dressed like this, while I'm dealing with cancer and stuff. So, I'm making this video because I cannot express how frustrated I've been with the healthcare system. Uh, the Let's just start from the beginning. I first went to my primary care doctor because I thought I had something going on down there. Some pain, firmness, swelling. They referred me to an ultrasound, and the ultrasound found cancer looking things, and then they referred me to a urologist. I spoke with a nurse practitioner urologist who had to call the chief surgeon. The chief surgeon was very quick, got surgery set up. We got that done. Before surgery, he had asked me a few things like, um, do I plan on banking any sperm for fertility reasons, uh, hormone replacement therapy options, if I want a prosthetic or not. I did not choose to bank any sperm. I'm 36. I don't plan on having kids. We have a beautiful fur baby, Otis, and I have plenty of nephews and nieces that are gorgeous, and honestly, I can see myself in them, so they're kind of like my kids anyways. Beyond that, these were all very good questions, I thought. We kind of discussed, what was going on. The urologist sent me for a CAT scan. Went in for the CAT scan. They found that it looked like the cancer had spread to kind of the normal pathway of a cancer that relates to testicular cancer. So it was one lymph node that they found that was, I think, over 1.5 centimeters, that was abnormal in the para-aortic area. I think there was like one other lymph node that kind of was off, and there was a 4 millimeter spot on my lung. But from what I've understand and what I've discussed with other cancer survivors of this type, that's not uncommon. And if it's under a centimeter, then basically don't worry about it. And that was confirmed the day of my surgery, which was set up with my urologist. They did a double orchiectomy, or a bilateral orchiectomy. They took both of my testicles, which they did a biopsy right there. The biopsy came back saying things like the tumors were a seminoma. The margins seemed to show that it was, like located mainly just in the testicles. And it was basically confirmed cancer, but a specific type of cancer that is different from another type, which is called a non-seminoma, which is like smaller tumors and known to spread kind of quicker and faster. Cool. I get out of surgery. I post a few videos. I take it easy. I'm still taking it easy. It's now been 1 week. I thought that a post-op appointment would have been set up. There wasn't one. So I've noticed some things in this week since the surgery, such as hormonal, changes. My testosterone creation center was just ripped out of me. So I have no testosterone that's being built. So I don't know what kind of effects that may have on a person. I've heard from other people with testicular cancer say that they've got testosterone shots right after the surgery, or like while they were in recovery, they just got the shot. I don't think I got that. So a few days there, I was just kind of in a pain haze, and I didn't really feel like up to much. I call on Monday because I hadn't heard from anybody yet. So I called first the urology department. They said, well, if your surgeon said that you have cancer, they probably have you set up with a referral to an oncologist, which he did say that. So I was like, okay. So they were like, call oncology since they haven't gotten a hold of you. I call oncology on Tuesday. They say, yes, we see the referral. We want to gather all the information we need, and then we will call you back to set up like an appointment, get you set up with an oncologist. You know, they have oncologists of different specialties and tumor types and cancer types. Cool. I asked them about the hormone thing because I hadn't had a post-op follow-up, and they were like, well, we're not sure. Like, we could be the ones that are in charge of that, but maybe you should get a hold of like maybe your primary care doctor or urology. So I was like, okay, I will go back to them. And so they were going to be working on it. They were going to call me back. I messaged my primary care doctor explaining all of this. They said that they can like prescribe testosterone replacement therapy, but they want to wait for the like go ahead from oncology. So we're starting to see like a loop of, you know, go to this department. I say, understandable. And then my primary care also mentioned that they looked over my biopsy results, and it looked like the cancer is only in my testicles, which had been removed, you know, kind of hinting at like it's gone. But I responded that if they had looked at my CAT scan, they would have seen the abnormal lymph node. And that means there was spreading. That means there's going to be further treatment, hence the oncology setup. Today, I decided to make some calls. I called to urology. They said, it's still like too early in the day. We'll have somebody call you back. Cool. I get a phone call. I think it's urology. It's oncology. They say, okay, we're building up your case. We're trying to figure everything out. They ask me a bunch of questions. I mention about the hormone replacement therapy and how I haven't heard anything since the surgery. And then all of a sudden, urology beeps in. So oncology says, go talk to them. I beep over to urology. Urology says, hey, we saw you called and you were asking a few questions about post-op, and we noticed that, did anybody ask you or did anybody set up a post-operation appointment? And I said, well, no, I was expecting, you know, oncology or somebody to call. This is all very new to me. And they said, oh, well, you know, it's pretty much standard that a post-op appointment is, you know, made right as the surgery is being going on. Like that's something they should have had in the books. They didn't. So tomorrow morning at 9:30, I am going to go in and see my surgeon. And this is the opportunity I will finally get, I guess, to discuss things like hormone replacement therapy, uh, the results of my biopsy, uh, the kind of where do we go from here? Cool. So that's set up for tomorrow. Awesome. I am not gonna lie, I was like very, very frustrated and kind of felt, dizzy. Not to mention, hormones are out of control. So like I've been a scatterbrain the last couple of days. Uh, then I decided to call oncology back because we were in the middle of a conversation. Uh, they tell me, or they ask me some more questions about my history, my medical history. I answer those. Then they kind of get to the part of scheduling, and they say, well, we have one oncologist that specializes in seminoma, your like specific type of cancer and tumor, but we can't set that up right now. We have to like reach out to them. They're very booked. They have to approve you, and then it looks like maybe end of May. Or you could go to one of the other oncologists that we have on staff. I, being the person that wants to just get the answers from the right people now, said, let's go with the specialist, give them my stuff. I'm sure they're going to approve it. I mean, it's specifically what they specialize in. So I'm looking at end of May to have an oncology appointment. I had mentioned that I reached out to Indiana University, which is what other cancer survivors have mentioned as like kind of the mecca of a certain procedure that might be available to certain people in certain stages of testicular cancer that may allow for you to not have to do chemo or radiation. Many have had to do chemo and radiation after this procedure. Many have had chemo and radiation before and then had to have this procedure. All seem to have been cured or, in remission after that. But they were all great. Like I just reached out to the surgeon through email and they responded really quick. They reached out to their other surgeons who agreed that all of my levels that I sent them and what I had from my little portal app showed that it was reasonable to look into this procedure that is pretty rare. It's only offered in certain places like Mount Sinai, Sloan Kettering, which is up in New York, or Bloomington, Indiana, which is Indiana University. I know there's a spackle of other surgeons around the country that are trained. It's called an RPLND. I don't remember if I said that or not. And it's a pretty invasive surgery if they don't use a robot. There are some people that use robots, but it's all pretty new. And the name of the game, I guess, is to go with who's done the surgery the most, who's had the most successes, because there's chances that surgeons have done this procedure, but they've only done a handful or they've only, had minimal experience with it. Whereas Indiana University has done thousands and they're kind of the people to go to. I mentioned all of this to Indiana University people. They ask for my information. They're going to get a hold of my hospital to get my records and kind of get the ball rolling to maybe see if that treatment is possible, which is kind of what I'm hoping for, honestly. I don't want to go through chemo. I tell this to the oncologist who's interviewing me, and they kind of give me this, well, you don't really need to be doing that. Like, it's always fine to get a second opinion, but you can always, we've treated this type of cancer here before with success. And there is a way that you could get all your scans done and everything here, and then maybe get treatment over there, or vice versa. And it all kind of felt like a selling point on, either stick with us or go with them, or I guess we can both work together if you make it work. So, moral of the story here is I had to be basically a coordinator for 3 different departments to kind of get the communication circle kind of going, and also like this loop ended, and it was quite frustrating. But I'm waiting on a call tomorrow to be set up with an oncologist who will look at everything, and will decide the best treatment, hopefully at the end of May, maybe sooner. Who knows? Maybe not at all. Maybe I'll have to go with a different oncologist. And I have an appointment tomorrow for the urologist to discuss post-op, kind of look at my incisions, see if there's any complications, any internal bleeding or anything like that. I don't think there is. There was a lot of pain recently. I think that has mostly to do with anesthesia wearing off. And yeah. So that's what I've been doing this morning. Also, work has been a great distraction, but I've been getting calls and a lot of interruptions in between. So I figured I would just document this, and I don't know, maybe I'll post it to one of my social medias, maybe not. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm frustrated. I'm not sad, just very frustrated that the healthcare system is so discombobulated. So L healthcare system right now. But things are back on track at least. So stay strong, everybody. See you later.